Hey everyone, and welcome to another Sony Pictures Animation request. As you know, last time I did pretty much their most recent movie. There won't be another film for quite a few months, but there are still some short films to talk about, so... What the... Alright, that's more like it. Where was I at? Okay, Sony Pictures Animation and my new video library. We'll be talking about the 17 short films that have been released in the last 20 years. There is a lot of them, so this is going to take quite some time. So I thought, let's just do a star rating for everyone, just so you kind of have an idea of what my general thoughts on the films are. And we will start out with the one that started them all. Featured on this Men in Black 2 DVD, the Chubs. I remember owning this on the Men in Black 2 DVD, which also happens to be one of the first DVDs I ever had. It was shoved on the disc with the other trailers, so I always assumed this was just a preview for a feature-length movie. In fact, my friend happened to own a DVD that just had the 5-minute Chubs on it. I thought I finally would get to see the full movie, but nevertheless it was just a short again, because that's all it ever was. It was just a short made by Sony Animation. Filled with sci-fi references and goofy character animation, the first short managed to win the Academy Award for Best Animated Short. Revisiting it all these years later, I still think it's entertaining and represents an excellent way to showcase a story and jokes in only a few minutes. The quality is quite good for the time, even better than some of their feature-length stuff that would come in the future, and it's reminiscent of the work Pixar was doing. I guess it wouldn't be as effective in today's saturated market, but I still think it's a great debut. 5 out of 5 stars if you ask me. But there's an even more forgotten one with Early Bloomer, their second short that made an appearance on the Daddy Daycare DVD and hasn't emerged anywhere else. This one contains no dialogue and has simple enough gags that I thought were funny as a kid, with music that complements it pretty well, but today it plays more like a PSA for bullying. The colors are vibrant and the idea is cute, but coming after the Chubs and watching this as an adult, it doesn't have as much of an impact. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. After the release of their 2006 debut feature film, Open Season, Sony started a trend of taking their movie characters and putting them in a short, which is where Boogan Elliott's Midnight Bun Run came from. The original film is awful, so I can't imagine this short being any better, and honestly, it plays like a deleted scene. The duo goes to find the hippies camper to steal some buns, and they get attacked by Mr. Weenie. It even ends on a cliffhanger, like, were they gonna make more of these? This plot doesn't tie to anything else in the Open Season saga. Maybe Boog gets shot and this is supposed to be the chronological finale? It's not good. 1 out of 5 stars. Then they return to the Chubs universe with a Christmas sequel titled The Chubs Save Christmas. It lacks the references and quality of the first one, but it still invokes that Looney Toons style with zany characters, and a voice cast of Jeffrey Tambor and Zachary Gordon, the latter of which would show up in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid films. It's not as funny or original. I mean, how many times can I do the Santa replacement story? But it has its moments. I have childhood memories with this, so 3 out of 5 stars should do. As we all know, they got the rights to do the Smurfs movie, which everyone hated, but they made enough money to warrant 2 spin-offs created directly after each film. The first is The Smurfs: A Christmas Carol, which brought back some of the original cast to tell the tale of Scrooge, but played this time by Grouchy, who hates Christmas because he never got the present he asked for. So, from the original tale, we had a breakdown of the characters' relationships and happiness with life success, failures, and missed opportunities. But in this, it's because he didn't get a hang glider. Compelling. The biggest compliment I can give is for the traditional hand-drawn animation, which is how all the Smurfs flicks should have been done to begin with. It's vibrant and a worthy successor to the television series, and it doesn't contain any of the awful or modern humor from the theatrical stuff. It is a bit stupid that the spirits are actually created by Papa as some kind of dream spell.
I mean, the ghosts were already magical, so why couldn't they just be magical ghosts? We don't need magic to explain magic. 3 out of 5 stars. There was also The Legend of Smurfy Hollow, which is slightly better and has the hand-drawn animation I love. It's a straightforward retelling of the classic tale, but it's actually about a berry-picking competition, which is incredibly lame. But then again, I was watching these Smurfs shorts on a Saturday night, so who am I to judge? There's not a lot to write home about with these Smurfs, but the specials do a good job of keeping them alive. 3 out of 5 stars for this one as well. One of the zaniest things to come is So You Wanna Be a Pirate, a 20-minute late-night spoof featuring the hilarious characters from the underappreciated Aardman Pirates movie. If you remember my review, you know I really enjoyed the humor and animation, so I'm happy to see anything else they have to offer. For being a direct-to-video special, this still has the level of quality that was present in the feature film, and it has quite a few good jokes. If you loved the movie, you'll love this. 3.5 out of 5 stars. There was actually quite a long string of different 2D animated shorts that would be released. Goodnight, Mr. Foot was another one that came with the Hotel Transylvania Blu-ray. It's Getty Tartakovsky, and I love his Jay Ward inspired style. It feels like a modern take on old school Saturday morning cartoons. This is mostly a placeholder for Mr. Foot's backstory, who was an incredibly minor character in the first film, and it doesn't have enough time to land all the jokes, but I'd still like to see more to come out of this universe. 3 out of 5 stars. Then out of nowhere, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 had 4 different shorts produced. I figured these would be trial runs for the eventual TV series, but the animation style isn't quite the same. I guess they wanted it to be similar to Despicable Me with their various Minion shorts. Mini Minion movies, if you will. Actually, most of these shorts are technically called mini movies, which sounds very popcorn entertainment-like, but then again, that's pretty much what these 4 are. They take the characters and make one-note jokes for each of them. I appreciated the quality and the fun, but for so many options, I can't believe that this is the most disappointing bunch yet. Steve's First Bath is exactly what the title says. Superman-y is about the camera operator's secret life as a cat-saving hero, and that's it. Earl Scouts is the most interesting and Looney Tunes inspired, with a cat and mouse scenario going on with fruit, plus a few puns, but it's not too memorable. And they also have Attack of the 50-Foot Gummy Bear, which pretty much explains itself. And that one's my favorite, so I'll give that one 3 out of 5 stars, but the rest are only 2.5 out of 5. Sure, it can be stylistic, but honestly, it leaves nothing to talk about. Quite a few of these are incredibly uneventful, cheap, or too short. I know they can't run long, that defeats the purpose, but literally, there's a stupid video on Angry Birds 2 called Livestream. It's just the characters doing a live stream. That's it. It goes on for 2 minutes. Does this really count as a mini-movie? It's like a television ad. Flopsy Turvy was made for Peter Rabbit. Sure, it's cool to hear Margot Robbie and Daisy Ridley again, but it goes on for only 3 minutes, a lot of which is taken up by the opening credits. Why are the opening credits so glorious for just a 3-minute short? And as I said before, it feels like a deleted scene rather than its own story made independently of the film. I give both of these only 1 out of 5 stars. They're pointless promotional shit. However, they had a few good ones left. Puppy was released with the Emoji Movie, hence it's the only good thing about the Emoji Movie. It plays like a sneak peek for Hotel Transylvania 3, but I have to admit, this dog has a hilarious and cute design. When he munches on the skeleton family, I literally burst out laughing. It's so quick and rough. Like the saga itself, Puppy has a few good moments, but it doesn't change the world of comedy. 3 out of 5 stars. And Caught in a Ham, released with the Spider-Verse, has John Mulaney return to the funny role of Spider-Ham. This features his universe with quirky villains, the great jokes, and a style all its own, while being influenced by every major animation company that you remember from the 30s to the 70s. It's cheesy and punny, while making allusions to the original movie. Honestly, this is probably the best thing they've done since the Chubs, and for hitting every note perfectly, especially with the comedy, I can't help but give it 5 out of 5 stars. I guess it's too bad Sony could never make anything on the level of Pixar, Disney, or other independent companies as far as short stories go. It's an incredibly difficult art form, and it can be impossible to impact the emotions in just a few minutes. With the Spark shorts on Disney Plus and the other Academy Award winners, I really hope we can see Sony make a moving work in the future. For comparison, let's look at the 2020 winner for Best Animated Short, called Hair Love. It has no dialogue, a bit of a surprising ending, and absolutely relatable, adorable characters. It manages to make you cry with its significance for the people who made it and the audience watching, but most importantly, the target demographic. I hate hearing about those stories about marginalized people getting in trouble in their schools just for how their hair is. It should be embraced as culturally important, and that's what this short is all about, while also being about a family and what brings them together. I also like the use of technology. The little girl watches videos that eventually have a closer to home meaning, but it's so interesting how they used it as a framing device for the finale, and how YouTube can be utilized as a preservation of history. This seriously has it all, along with the smooth, relaxed color palette, really funny humor, and good music. Seriously, Sony, go talk to these creators. Who made this anyway? Holy shit. Thanks to Ryan for this Patreon request, and thanks to all my Patreon supporters. For only $7, you can get your own monthly movie review. Ask me to review anything I haven't already. There's also other perks like blogs, exclusive videos, and early access. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thanks so much for watching this video.